Go this way. Yeah! That's a couple guys I work with, Pablo and Nacho. Man, having rear brakes is nice. I recommend it, everybody. Have front and rear brake. You heard it here first on Johnny's Motorized Bicycles. Brakes are handy to have on your motorized bicycle. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for tuning in, as always, to Johnny's Motorized Bicycles. Okay, guys, so what are we doing? Well, it's simple. BikeBerry has given me multiple pipes. Don't mind the other shiny stuff. BikeBerry gave me these two pipes. And they gave me this too, the wide crank, and I'll show you why in a minute. They also gave me a carburetor. This is called the high performance carburetor, the HP Carb. Now, is it actually high performance? Not to the realm of what people consider high performance in this hobby, or they want to dog on it, or the dog on me because I like it. I like it because of this feature right here. Look, that choke, automatic release, that's so helpful, guys. When you wake up in the morning and you're tired and you got to run to work because you're running late, you don't want to reach down because you're not paying attention, and before you know it, you end up crashing or something. And not saying this has happened to me, or running into the back of a car or your neighbor's minivan, because that hasn't actually happened more than once. But you don't want to be not paying attention when you're super tired. Like, that's just zero fun. So I love it. That's why as soon as they gave it to me, I put it on immediately. But that's the truth. I really do dig it. Now, is it high performance? I mean, I wouldn't run a high performance Minarelli on it, or saw build or something like that, because those, you need crazy amounts of air. But if you have a stock motor and you ride it on the daily, it makes the motor run smoother. 110%. That carburetor runs smoother than the standard Bofang that comes with every bike kit now. This is a stock motor. You guys know I didn't do anything to this motor. I put it on the bike to see how well it was. And it's, first of all, it's not my review video on the whole outlook of this motor. This is an amazing motor, guys. If you want a reliable motor, hands down the most reliable motor I have ever tried that is stock out of the box. But I've been pushing this one pretty hard, so I don't know, how long it will last. But I also pushed it way harder than I would normally push it because I was testing it to see if it would break, and it hasn't. It runs amazing. Now, this carburetor, I slapped it on immediately as soon as I got it because I love this choke. This automatic choke is amazing. If you don't believe me, get one. They're not expensive, and just try it. So simple, so easy, super good quality of life improvement. Now, I squished this in here just so I have a filter. I don't like to run without a filter, but we're going to do all our testing right now. We're going to go warm it up. Now, one of the things I love and I also hate, just like in your own life, your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. I myself like to think of my confidence as my greatest strength, but it is also my greatest weakness. The thing that makes you the strongest is also the thing that makes you the weakest. Like, if your kids are your strength and they bring you so much happiness, for instance, they're also your greatest weakness, because if someone was to take your kids or hurt your kids, it's going to bring you down to the ground and hurt you. Or if something, God forbid, was to happen, it would crush you and hurt you so much. Just using it as illustration, But like, for me, my confidence, I'm super confident when I do stuff, say stuff, pretty much just all the time. I'm just pretty confident person, except for my list, but I just suddenly got, so I'm really not that confident about that. But my normal day-to-day thing, when I don't have a lisp out of nowhere, I am super confident. But also, the confidence will get me in trouble a lot of times, because I'm confident. I'll think I could just do this, that, and the other, and before you know, I get myself into something I shouldn't be doing because overconfident. So in case you didn't know, that's the truth. Your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness. If you ever get asked that in a job interview, make sure you say the same thing for both, because that's what their answer they're looking for. It's a trick question. So anyway, this motor's greatest feature, in my opinion, is also its biggest downfall. The cooling on this motor is phenomenal. Problem with that is if you turn it off for about 5 to 10 minutes, you're pretty much going to have to do the heat cycle over again. Get it warming up. It's going to do its little chug, 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 because it's got lower compression and stuff. Anyway, that's the biggest pitfall, in my opinion, so far that I could find with this motor, which, I mean, if cooling is the biggest problem because it cools so well, is that really that big of a problem? I don't know. You be your own judge on that one. So we're going to have to go out. We're going to warm it up just as is. I'm going to throw my phone up on the mount with the speedometer. Okay, guys. You are recording. Turn the lights on here. Nice. Turn the automatic choke on because it's a lovely feature. Turn my bike off so it will turn on. Yeah, I know. It's backwards. I did it on purpose, or so I tell everyone. I still got choke on. Choke is off. Now it takes a while to warm it up. It's an iron sleeve, and like I said, the cooling is so good on this thing, it takes a while. Why is something clicking? Something is not right. But we're gonna ignore it anyway. Okay, so you've seen me take off plenty of times. You see how much you see how much get up and go it has. Well, you guys can see it. 34. I know it will go faster. I need more runway. 35. I've had this thing up to. Ooh, man, the brakes are working nice now. Yeah, rear brake. Oh, I know. I'm most excited about that, I think. I've had this thing up to 39, 41 when it was brand new. And mind you guys, I'm doing this testing now, and it's got, you know, at absolute minimum, it's got 8,000 miles, which I think it's closer to 9, pushing 10. So, you know, it's not going to work as good as it would when it's brand new. So that, you know, I guess you got to take that into consideration too. So any performance improvement is just an improvement. Yeah, we're dropping quickly. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. There's not going to be any more than that. Okay, so what did we learn? Nothing. We learned that the bike is tired. Well, the motor is tired. The bike's pretty tired too, if I'm being honest with you. That's what you have and that's what you get. Now, if I let this sit for 10 minutes, I have gloves on, but I'm touching the head. It's hot, but it's not so hot. Like normally, if I was on the YD100 after ripping it like that, I would have to take my hands off after a couple seconds. It'd be burning through my gloves. This thing cooling is so good. Like I literally just keep holding this. That's how good the cooling is on this bike. It is insane. I mean, on this motor, it is insane how good the cooling is. So we're gonna do all the testing with everything, but it is now getting far too dark for me to continue doing what I want to do. All right, guys, welcome back. So it is a whole another day later. But we are on the F1 Bomber, which is probably going to the pipe. Okay, that's a lie. It's not probably. It is 1,010%. Thank you for that. It is 1,010% going to be the pipe I run on this motor once I turn the dial to 11. Now, to fit this on, I had to put on these wide cranks. Okay, so when BikeBerry sent me the initial email and stuff, they said you might have to alter your bike to get this pipe to fit. But if you use this pipe, which I highly recommend using the F1 Bomber if you're gonna have this. Actually, I haven't tested it with any other BT motors, you know, Bullet Train or any of that have this style attachment for the manifold. This pipe would definitely help wake them all up. Real wide, large header, larger opening for the ID on the actual port. And the way it comes out. Now, initially I was like, oh, that's kind of weird the way it comes out on the ground here. It's actually super nice. One, whenever you have the pipe coming out back here, which I always did, you see how it's all discolored and this is all coming off because of the paint got hit with the exhaust comes right out here. And yeah, it does go behind the bike, but it does get everything greasy and ruined. Now, if you run rim style brakes, constantly spewing oil onto the brake pad surface, and that just makes it for less grippy brakes, which we all know is a problem. So the way this comes out in a similar manner of the stock pipe that would come out here, it just shoots out to the ground and keeps everything a lot cleaner. Also, it tucks in extremely close, guys. Now, the only thing that could be considered an issue, which it's not for me, I'm running the HP Carb. So you see this down here? This is the choke. Hope you guys could pick this up. That's the choke. Now, you can hit it with your left hand and use it and stuff, but with the placement of this pipe and with the other carb, I'll show you, it's hard to get in there. Now, how this pipe would fit on another style bike frame, I'm not sure. I mean, a regular mountain bike frame, like say tweakers and stuff, it'd probably fit on there much easier. But because I'm running a very sloped backbone on a very large beach cruiser style frame bicycle, it definitely fits in a weird way. I do run the universal mount in front, which also raises it up and stuff. All said and done, 100% this is my favorite pipe I've tried to date. If you want just a quick, easy upgrade, 100% this is the pipe for it. I did notice the slightest bit of four-stroke, but once it warms up, I don't notice it. I haven't noticed it yet. That's running no jet changes, and the HP Carb has no slide or needle adjustment. So once you have your HP Carb tuned, if you do go with the HP Carb, which I personally recommend it for any daily, just because of that automatic choke, it really is a quality of life adjustment that is so beautiful. So once you got your carburetor tuned up properly and your motor's running good, and if you were just to buy this and slap it on, you're not going to have to do any more tuning. It really matches everything perfectly. Let's take this out. Let's go see how she sounds. Oh, one other thing I noticed big time. This bike, or this motor I should say, is so much torquier. It had decent pickup considering I'm running such large wheels and small sprocket. The stock kit comes with a 44 tooth sprocket. This one is a 38, but with the 29 wheels, it's got to be at least like a 34 tooth sprocket, roughly. But it still chugs when it warms up. That's because I think it has a lower compression, which is one of the reasons why you can get so many miles out of this motor out of the box. It's very impressive. Now let's go get it warmed up and we'll do a couple rips. Sounds really good though, I think. I think this is the best sounding pipe I've tried yet. I've tried two, well I guess three if you count the stock pipe, but by far it is the best sounding. And I just think in general for the sound and note that a pipe will carry, this is great. And when you're taking off, it pulls much easier from a lower speed, no doubt about it. Now hopefully it's warming up here, but the actual sound sounds good. Stance Nation. It keeps up 25 miles an hour much easier. 25 to 30, usually around 28 is where I seem to keep the bike most of the time, and it keeps that speed much easier than it did before. So that makes me happy that it's impressively good like that. Or if I could get a good enough run going this way. 51 max, 51.1. What was I on? I think I was on Purple Nightmare. I didn't even realize I was going that fast. I never did a speed run with that bike. That was just how fast it registered. It's got so much more than that. I need to get a pipe on that one because that one would really pull hard with a pipe. Well, the motor's definitely heat soaked right now. Took a lot of effort to get up to that 36 again. I was definitely feeling a headwind there. Not a hard one, but any little bit of headwind is a lot when you're as big and wide as I am. But this, honestly guys, right here, this. Like, okay, it says I'm doing 11 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour. Like, here we go, 7. I'm going to slowly let off. I can give it a little bit of, it takes off. It would not do that before. I had to be going about this fast for it to be able to take off really. It really does give it a lot more grunt. You can hear it much smoother. With the stock pipe, it sounds much more congested, like it's fighting. Oh, something not good. Something just happened. Something just came apart. I think the motor just blew up, guys. That's kind of unfortunate. Can't keep a good dog down. Nope. I don't know what it was. It was getting heat soaked. First time it's ever done that to me. She's back up and running though. Let's see if it actually works. Yeah, still got the low torque. I don't hear any knocking or pinging or any more than I used to. Still got low and full. Got the pipe hopefully. I can hear a popping. Let's see something here, guys. I'm a little curious. Sounds fine. You saw when I pulled the clutch in and it would start to rev up, that's a sign of being lean. I feel like it wasn't anything to do with the motor. Like, if you ever use a chainsaw, when it runs out of gas, right before it runs out of gas, it goes and revs up to the moon. That's because the motor's going lean. That's why if your carburetor's lean, and you might have a high idle, but then if you richen the mixture up, it will all of a sudden idle down fast or even stall out. That's all because of the fuel. So the way it was doing that, I might have got a little bit of choke happen. Maybe something got stuck in the... I know there's a piece of dirt floating around in my gas tank that every now and then gets clogged in there somehow. It could have just been that slowing down the actual fuel. I mean, it looks good, guys. Look at this. My hand is bald and touching this head. Like, I can't keep it on there. It's hot. But another head, after what I just did, it would have been... You would have scalded your hand. This motor has such good cooling. It's crazy. Well, there you go, guys. That was easy enough for me. Yeah, still got good compression. Motor's skidding. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I really have no freaking clue. I don't know what it was. It was just, that was weird. I'll tell you that. It was definitely weird. We got some work to do to that. Not today, but we do. Some things I want to do to it. So, there you have it. Let's get on the F3 thruster. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, guys, so we put on the F3 thruster pipe, which is very similar to their F2, except it's called the F3, mainly just because they have to call it something different, because you literally can't buy the F2 and put it on here because of the BT100 spoke hookup. Because of my frame, just same with the F1, this is an extremely hard pipe for me to fit on. Now you can see it did go in, comes here around the side. Everything they got with like their part, it hugs it really tight, but it tucks in real nice, goes down the side. I mean, it's a cool look, you know? You see how it looks. It's cool, comes right out. This pipe will definitely make my bike much greasier because of where it's shooting, but the ID is smaller. So the ID is smaller, and I think it will not perform nearly as well as the F1. F1 was really, really, really sweet. Now, all that being said, I am going to take it back out, and we're going to test it, and it took me a good 15 to 20 minutes to get that pipe on, so more than likely the bike will have to be completely warmed up again. Let's go see what it does, though. This one I expect to do about the same, a little better than the stock. For me, it's going to be about grunt and getting away from the line, and the faster it can pull away. The F1 100% had a way more torque and better pulling power for literally a completely stock motor, and all I did was toss on a pipe. That's impressive, you know? Anything that helps me get away from a stop sign quicker, I'm all for it. Now, let's see how this one does. Bonus with this one is I can get to the choke again, real easy, but nonetheless, let's just see. Now, usually the F2, in this case, the F3 always had the best sound, in my opinion, but the F1 is going to be hard to beat. Let's see here. Turn the bike off. Way louder. Whoopsie. Why did it say 48? That was weird. I think it's maybe taking a little from the top end, but it does have a little bit more than stock on the bottom, but not as much as the F1. Will it help the performance of your bike and your motor that you buy? Yeah, a little bit. Does it sound cool? Definitely. I think it's the best sounding pipe. The F1 though comes real close. I just like how deep this pipe makes the motor sound. It's like weird, you know, like These are small motors, but it sounds like it's got a real good bite to it because the way the pipe is designed. Now, I'm not taking it out as long as I did the other ones, just because I don't think I have to. I think the key selling point for this one is the cool factor, in my opinion. I think this one looks cool, and it sounds wicked. Like, there's just no other sound like the F2, or in this case, the F3. It's got such a hard bang. It's so ridiculous. It's such a small motor. What can I say? I think this one just sounds great. It does give you a little bit more than a stock. Don't get me wrong. It definitely does. There is a little bit more. It's definitely affordable. It's one of the cheaper performance pipes you can get. For the average consumer, which is what they're targeting, just the average person or kid riding a bike that just enjoys riding it and having fun and making noise. If you want noise and a cool look, I think this is probably the pipe for you. Got one of these way long ago for F2 basic, you know, for another type regular hookup. It's the one that Anthony actually has. I think it's great, but I didn't like how loud it was. This is extremely loud pipe. And if you want extremely loud and a bit more on the bottom end, this pipe will do you just fine. And the cool factor speaks for itself. It just looks really cool coming out the side like this. It's a really cool look. I probably get the most comments about this pipe than any other pipe I have ever run, which has always been some basic MZ65 style or the F1 bomber. This one always gets people talking and asking questions because people see it long, chromed out. You can get it in black too, but it just looks the part. It sounds the part. Most people just really think it's really cool. And it does give you a little bit more on the bottom end, which is cool. You know, who doesn't want a little bit more power? For me, it's not enough. The F1, this is by far the ticket for me. This changed, in my opinion, the smoothness of the idle, the smoothness of the acceleration through the entire rev range, had more grunt on the bottom end, and it was pulling a little harder on the top end, but it's so windy, it's just not really the time to do it. So those are the selection, guys. So I hope that helps. Also, you saw every video I did the past, well, at least the last video about this motor had this carburetor. I didn't tell you guys it had this carburetor on because I wasn't testing it yet, but it had this carburetor. I personally am a big fanboy for the HP Carb. If you're running it on a daily bike and you just want something that's simple and easy for your quality of life, just there's nothing easier than a choke that is automatic. You push it down, you hop on your bike, you ride, click it off, don't have to touch nothing, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the handlebars. That is super duper nice, in my opinion. And these are not expensive, so you can upgrade, get better idling, smoother through the rev range, and usually a little more top speed, which I definitely got more top speed out of it with this than the stock carb. Is it for the people running performance things? Like, I hear a lot of people comment and stuff like, oh, it's just junk for people that don't know what they're doing and stuff. And the thing I say to that is the Minarelli here, this is a performance build. Now, I don't have the performance pipe on it yet, and yeah, it looks how it looks because the pipe is horrible that I welded up because I don't know how to weld. Nonetheless, I'm running an OKO, that one says PWK, but an original PWK carb on there, 21 millimeter, because that's what that motor needs. I wouldn't run one of these carburetors on there. Now, could it? Yes, it definitely could run with one of these carburetors. But am I going to do that to get peak performance? No, because these don't have power jets. These don't have the tunability to get that fine tune you want to get that you will get with one of them. There is a place for everything. And if you're a younger person that doesn't have a lot of knowledge, if you're riding your bike on the daily, if you just want to have it smooth out or even simplicity for the choke and just the all-around look, I mean, it does look cooler, comes with an air filter. Mine, of course, because my frame is stupid, I have to squish it in here. Nonetheless, it gives me everything that I want. And what all I really care about is this auto choke. I love that. Yeah, it's not going to be for the Minarelli guys or the Frankenstein builders or whatever. Not for everybody. Not everything is for everybody, and that's fine. Dogging on it, I don't get that. I really just don't get why people dog on it because it's just cheaper and inexpensive. I'm all about inexpensive. You guys know my channel. If it's cheap and inexpensive, it's usually the way I'm going to go. So this really ticked a lot of boxes for me for my daily. This is my daily. I ride it every day. Ease and simplicity, that's beautiful. And also helped with the performance, making it smoother idling, better through the rev range. It gave me another couple mile an hour. What else can you want for a couple dollars? That is a good deal. Not literally a couple dollars, guys. I forget the actual price. Put it over there. So There you go. Okay guys, real quick, I just put the stock carb back on, so we're gonna take the bike out. The pipe that's on it right now is the F3 thruster pipe, so we'll probably do another just quick short ride. And I have had the bike off for a good 30 minutes now, so definitely got to start it back up again and warm it up. I haven't used the stock carb in months. Should still be tuned because it was fine. I put all the settings right back to where it was before. Oh, it's not. I tried to flip the choke off. I forgot. Doesn't have an auto choke anymore. This pipe is by far the pipe that's going to make the neighbors hate you the most. It's so loud. Now you can see it's a little bit better. Not as good as the F1. I got it pinned. We're not gaining speed as fast, but we are going up the hill from the low dig. So it does give us more. It's just not as much as the F1. This carburetor it's just not fun for the bike. A little bit of force stroke in. Come on, God, let's go, let's go. Miles an hour. That's slightly downhill going this way. So, same pipe and different carburetor. You lose 4 miles an hour easy. Easy 4 miles an hour, and it doesn't pull as hard on the top end. Now, is this a good pipe? I mean, it's not a great pipe. It's not my first choice by any means. I think it sounds wicked, and I think it's the best sounding. But if you want to get anything out of this pipe for real, you really need to at least change the carburetor over to the HP. Otherwise, you're just putting on a noisemaker. So, what do I think of this pipe? I think the pipe is okay. I think if you want something that's loud and fun, this is 100% the pipe you want. It is really loud. It gives you the sound. The look, by far the coolest look out of any of the pipes. I get most questions and comments about this pipe or this style pipe. People just think it's cool all the way back there and stuff running alongside the bike. It really looks slick, especially chromed out because it really pops in the sun. With this carburetor, I think if you get this motor, your best bet is get that HP Carb, or even getting a real NT would be beneficial just over this. I am not a Bofang fanboy at all. I think they're just junk. Now, they come with every kit out there on the market because, you know, they probably got to deal with whoever builds them to use them. Now, they must have a much better connection system, and I get it. They have the easy bowl drain. I get it. But when all said and done, they just choke the motors. You could see I was getting 31, 32 miles an hour full top speed. And before I was getting 35, 36 all day long. And that's with a very tired motor. When the motor was new, I was getting 41 to 42 miles an hour all day with the stock pipe and the HP Carb. With this Carb, I was getting 39, 38, 39 at top speed. But the motor's tired, and we were getting close to 10,000 miles. I didn't do anything to improve the performance. So all this is done with what you get out of the box. It's impressive. And a heavy sprocket. The 44.2 sprocket probably gets similar-ish speeds, maybe a hair down for the really big ones, but because I got a 38 tooth and the big wheels, it's a lot of effort for the motor to turn this much weight because the bike is extremely heavy and I'm extremely heavy, and it's just a stock little motor. So long and the short, you want something to piss off the neighbors, this is definitely the one. It's inexpensive. It does give you more off the line and when you're taking off a little bit, and the sound you get makes you feel like you're getting a lot of it. I'm excited.